Okay. Just recapping the game quick. Really thought it was a hard-fought game last weekend, and for the balance of the game, it was pretty close. The difference in the game, obviously, was Penny. I thought we handled most of the game offensively and defensively, but the difference was the special teams. And he hadn't been returning punts. He did a good job on the one-run punt return. We didn't cover it very well, and then we were planning on not kicking to him and kickoff return. We did a good job of it most of the game, and then in the third quarter, I looked up and he was running the ball down the sideline. So we didn't do a good job not kicking it away from him, and that was a big mistake in the game. We did some good things offensively. O.J. O'Leary-Orange had his best game that we've had. We threw the ball well. But the bottom line is we got to do a good job being balanced, running the football against a good team like that. So really excited about this week. I think, we've had some disappointing close losses this year. The record isn't what we've wanted it to be. But I do think we're really fortunate. I think we're really fortunate we get to play this last game against our in-state rival in a game that means something to so many people here. So it's senior day for us. We're excited about our 11 seniors playing their last home game. We're excited to get a chance to play against a team from down south and play it in our stadium. And we haven't beaten them in this stadium for some time. I think 2011 it's been. So it's an important game for us. We're looking forward to preparing for it and looking forward to playing Saturday.
Does it add something that you could also knock UNLV out of bowl contention?
We want to win the game for us. It's important for our seniors. It's important for our season. That's part of it, but it's more important for us to win the game for our guys and to finish the season strong.
You've been a part of a lot of different rivalries everywhere you've been. What is your impression of this round? I know it's your first time seeing it in person. Just what you've heard from the community and people in athletic department.
No, I think it's exciting because it's an in-state rivalry. When you have two teams from the same state, it's competitive. You have so many crossovers for people that know each other and friends and family. So it's super competitive. I love the Cannon. I really enjoyed, we had Coach Alt speak to the team yesterday and just really give the team the history of the rivalry in the two schools. And just, I think the Cannon is just an awesome trophy to play for. So much history. It's so unique. I've played in a lot of rivalry games with a lot of different trophies. I had Floyd of Rosedale when I was at Iowa, between Minnesota. We had the Paul Bunyan's axe when I was at Wisconsin, and then the Golden Hat at Texas, in Oklahoma, they're all very cool. But the Fremont Cannon is, you just can't pick that thing up and put it over your head, So it's a pretty unique trophy, and one that's pretty special to play for. I feel very fortunate to be involved in it, and really look forward to Saturday.
I was going to ask you about Alt. Why do you think it was important to bring him back in? What was the message he kind of?
I just don't think there's anybody more qualified to talk about this rivalry than Coach Alt. Being a player here and having coached here for so long and been in so many of these games, there's really probably nobody that you could get that could talk more about this game than Coach Alt. So, he's been so gracious. He's at a lot of our practices. He's very aware of our team and where we're at. And he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's got some great insights, and he's talked about the history of the Cannon. He talked about the history of the two schools. Talked about a lot of things that I didn't know about the Cannon, how they used to fire the Cannon, and how, somebody got caught in some of the shrapnel at one time. And that's just a lot of interesting facts that I wasn't aware of. And so it was great for our players to hear them. This team hadn't heard from Coach Alt. So even some of our seniors hadn't heard from him. So it was great for them to hear him talk and his passion and his fire and his experience. Rivalry games have a lot of things in common. Doesn't matter where you are, if it's high school or peewees or at the college level. They're very competitive. They're very physical. But the team that executes the best and the team that takes care of the ball usually wins. So, you know, all those formulas that we've used over the years, we'll use them this weekend. You know, you have to be able to run the ball in games like this. And the team that has the most runs and completions usually wins, and that's part of our formula. So we want to do that this weekend. We want to be the physical team. We want to take care of the football, and we want to make the plays and execute the best to win the game.
With this being your first senior class, what have they kind of meant to you?
I've said it several times. I really think our seniors are playing their best football of their career, and they should their senior year. But just their focus on the details, you know, their day-to-day preparation, the leadership they've shown, and the example they've shown is really special to me. You know, you don't get a chance to go back and redo your senior year, so you want to play the very best football you can. And you know, Austin Corbett and Wyatt Demps and Austin Powell, those guys are all playing great football, playing their best football, and I'm really proud of them and the contribution that they've made.
You look at UNLV, had one of the better years they've had in a while. They really like to run the ball team. It's going to be another challenge for your run team.
No, they do a good job of running the ball. They've got a good back that has speed, and their quarterback is got a lot of ability to run the ball, and they use him a lot. So we're going to have to do a great job of that. They like to run the ball and control the clock. You know, that's what they talk about all the time. And so we're going to have to do a great job of that. We're going to have to be responsible for their quarterback. And, you know, he's proved this last game that he can make plays with his arm, too. I mean, he threw 3 of the best passes at the end of the last game that I've seen anybody throw all year. So he's certainly capable of doing that. And we've got to be prepared for that. He's a dangerous guy. You know, and defensively, they've had some issues personnel-wise. They've had some injuries at linebacker. They're trying to find their mix there. But, you know, it's a very balanced game statistically. And so the team that plays the best Saturday and executes the best will come out on top. It always is. I mean, it's tough for seniors when there's a coaching change because they've had different coaches. You know, and I've been through several transitions like that. It's tough because, you know, they've been through one regime of coaches and they have things that they stress and emphasize, and then you have a whole bunch of new coaches coming in and they have a different philosophy, and so, you know, it's difficult. But I really have to hand it to these guys. They've all competed really hard. They've tried to make the most out of every game this year, and they've been good examples to our younger players. And you know, there is a legacy that you hand down. And as a senior, really you want the young guys to see how you prepare and how you play and how you compete. And you want to hand that down to the younger players. So it's very important. You know, older players know how to play when they're not 100%, you know, when they're hurting. You know, when I was a younger player, I learned how to play hurt from the older players. And that's part of football. You know, the only guys that aren't hurt in football are guys that don't play. And so, you know, that sense of pride, how to prepare, how to compete when you're not 100%, when everything's not going right, how to come back after a loss. I mean, those are all things that you learn from older players. And that's the legacy that these guys are handing down. And the record isn't exactly what we wanted, but we've had some incredible examples from our seniors this year of how to handle themselves. And I really appreciate that.
I know you're usually in your football offices, but how often when you're out in the town do people mention this game to you,
I'm not really out on the town very much. But yeah, no, I do understand how important it is to the people of this community in Northern Nevada, and it should mean a lot. That's what rivalry games are all about. It's what football's all about. You look forward to these types of games, and I've always wanted to coach somewhere where games like this meant something to the people in the community, and it does. And so, and I really feel fortunate and blessed that this is our last game. I mean, because we have something to look forward to. This is our bowl game. We're not going to play in a bowl this year, so we're really looking forward to Saturday and teeing it up and playing one more time in Mackey and having it mean something.
Rogers can do some damage with his arm, but it's mostly been the legs this season. You haven't really played a quarterback, maybe Boise State's backup who runs the ball a ton. I guess what challenges does that present once you sure he's not ripping off these big players?
Well, it's just he's such a big athlete and he eats up so much ground. You just have to be responsible for him in the run game. They like to run zone read. They like to run option. They run a little power read. And those are all things where you have to have quarterback responsibility defensively and be assignment sound. If you're assignment sound, then you should be able to do a good job on him. Now, the thing that he's so tough is you still got to make the tackle. And he's made a lot of people miss, and a lot of people have broken tackles with him. So you just have to do a great job of tackling him, getting him down. And he's shown that he can hit a home run too. I mean, he can break one for 70, 80 yards, which is something that you got to really take advantage of. So we got to do a great job on him in the running game. The other part of that is when you are assigned for the quarterback, it kind of loosens up the defense for the running backs to run. So you have to do a good job of both. And they certainly, both the tailback and him are guys that can make big plays running the football, and that's what they would like to do. That's what they really hang their hat on is the running game, and they want him to be a big part of it.
Same question I asked all of your Nevada kids on the team, but what does the Fremont Cannon mean to you?
I mean, it's a sense of pride. It's a rivalry game, and the cannon is the symbol for winning that game. So, I love seeing it every day. I walk out of my office; it's right at the end of the hallway, and when we move it, we have a function or something. They move it; it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right when it's not there, and so. Our job is to keep it where it belongs, and we work all year for that, and the game happens to be Saturday, so this is when we put it all on the line. So it's a sense of pride. We take it very seriously. It was the first thing in our team meeting and training camp. We had the cannon in the meeting room. We've talked about it a lot. We've had it in the meeting room, in the locker room, a couple different times. It's in there today, and it'll be on the practice field Friday, and that'll be our last practice for our seniors. And so I think it's our kids understand how important it is. They know why they're here at Nevada is to play that game and to win that game. So I shouldn't have to give them too many pep talks before this one.
When you tell people outside the program that your rivalry trophies at Canton, what kind of reactions have you got?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I just think it's awesome, and I didn't realize they used to fire it, and that wouldn't be a bad thing to bring back. Actually, I'd kind of see if Coach Alt could work on that. But that's pretty. I think it's awesome. It's a live cannon that actually fires, and the fact that it gets painted, when different schools win it, and it's our job to keep it blue and to keep it at the end of our coaches' hallway. So.
How do you manage the emotion heading into a game like this? Because the guys are going to be fired up, and you don't want them a little bit too overboard. Is that a difficult?
No, I mean, really, we talk about that all the time. I mean, we try to stay in the moment. We try to worry about things we can control as players and coaches, and I think the biggest thing about these kind of games is to make sure you are ready to play. And thank God it's a 12 noon game. I mean, let's get up and go and wake up angry and ready. And you don't have to wait around much. So that's the best thing about this kickoff start. I was the happiest that I've been when I first heard we were going to play this game at noon. I thought it was the best thing ever. And so, you just got to pour all your energy into playing good. And and it really doesn't do a whole lot to jump up and down and all that. You want to pour your energy into playing the best you can. I'm really happy it's a holiday, to be honest. That Thursday and Friday are holidays because our kids will get extra rest. They'll get off their feet. They won't have to go to class. We start practice a little bit later. They get to sleep in, and so we should be a well-rested team. We should be a team that's ready to hit, and thank goodness it's a 12 noon start so we can get started.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Questions for Austin?
Austin, I know you still have one more game left. You kind of think back of your time here playing for Nevada. What kind of sticks out to you?
That's tough. Really just being able to play it at my home. Just really going in the locker room, talking about where all the people are from, all the other players. You got Virginia, Florida. That's far. And I got 10 miles before I get home. And so just to be able to play in front of my family for these 4 years is truly just been the greatest thing in the world to me, because my family is everything. And just to be able to do that, it's truly a blessing.
And looking at the rivalry, I mean, you grew up with it. So, I mean, does this kind of have a little extra for you maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. You go to this game when you're younger, and you just know that you feel like you're on the field with them. You know, that's our game. We're going to win this thing, and no matter how old you are. And now that I have this chance, I've had these 4 chances up to this point. I mean, I'm dead even right now. I'm 2-2, and I just got to be on the winning side of things come Saturday. It's everything up here in the North. I remember there's plenty of times, and you go to a friend's house playing NCAA football on a game console, and it's I'm going to be Nevada, and you can be UNLV, and it's always a fight, and it's just special. It's ingrained in these kids here in the North, and it's definitely something that was ingrained in me early on.
Is there a time this week where the seniors, I mean, everyone in the team knows the big game, but is there a time the seniors really stand up and explain how big the game is?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Norvell was just talking about bringing Coach Alda in, and I think he did a great job. Yeah, he covered everything. I feel like he told about almost every story that he could. I mean, he's been a part of so many of these games, just the history and the knowledge that he has behind this game. I mean, there's no one else that explains it better. And he really made the seniors' job pretty easy. He got everyone fired up and really just made it known to what this game is. And it's all about respect. And that cannon it's a tricky thing. And if you don't respect it, then she'll come for you.
Was there one message that Coach Alda kind of left you guys with? What thing kind of stood out?
The thing that for me that really stuck with me is just the respect. You got to respect the cannon. You got to respect the rivalry, and respect UNLV. And that's what it comes down to in a rivalry is if you don't respect it, then you're going to come out on the negative side. And I kind of thought, now that I've been thinking on that for a day, looking back to my 2 losses with it, I think that's what it came down to, just in the locker room and overall was we had good teams going to the game. We kind of rested on our laurels and just kind of sat back and didn't really respect the game, and it got us. And so just to kind of be able to reflect on that really that's what I kind of see as the number one thing is you have to respect it and give everything you can for this one game.
Look back those losses and have a mirror and see them take the trophy from you guys. I mean, it's got to sting even more.
Oh, I can see it now. Just as you asked that question, I can see them carrying it off, and I can just see there's videos of them dancing around it in the locker room, and it hurts. Those are things that'll haunt me for the rest of my life, just to see them drag it off. And this is my last chance, and this is the seniors' last chance, and we're here at home. We got to start changing. It's been some time since we were able to drag the cannon off while at Mackey, and so that's just been our goal since we won last year. Make sure that we carry it off, because we've never carried it off while it was still blue. And so that's the number one thing for this season.
Obviously, going to a bowl game would be preferable, but could you write it up any better for your career to end your college career at home? Your arch rival?
Yeah, I mean, there's like, sure, Mountain West Championship, bowl game, all those, but playing for the Cannon, I mean, there's nothing else like it in this country. And just to have that, it's senior night, it's the last game, you couldn't draw it up any better than this. And so I'm really just trying to, live in the moment, embrace it, not get caught up in any of the emotions. I'll let, my wife cry about it and let her take over the emotions for it. And I just have to go out and play. And that's really the message for this game. You just got to go out, do your thing, and play. And then you got, like I said, you got to respect it, and that's what it's going to take.
Being a local guy, what does it bring to the table to know that if you guys beat UNLV, they're out of bowl contention?
I was talking about it earlier to some guys, and honestly, it's just kind of unfortunate for them that this game is what's riding on their bowl eligibility, because it's really more than a game, for both sides. It's just something that's deep down inside of us that, that's why you go to the school that you go to, is you get the opportunity to play for this Cannon. And, it's just unfortunate that this game happens to determine their bowl eligibility. Not to be said in any negative way to them, but to be said, and I mean, it's just across the country, any rivalry that you have, you're going to get the best from both teams, and it's going to be a dogfight. And so, it's everything. This game is solely about the Cannon, solely about possession of it, and having those in-state bragging rights. And that's what this game is about. And so, I mean, UNLV's had a great season. They've done a phenomenal job and really stepped it up from what they've had in the previous years. And so it's gonna take everything we can. We're gonna have to keep fighting the entire game, all 4 quarters, to make sure that we come out on top.
When you were walking in here, somebody pulled you aside and said, "Keep it blue and make sure it stays home." I guess how often do you get that just around campus or out in the community?
All the time. It's really the only thing that gets talked about to me about football. I mean, this year, obviously, I got asked about the coach a lot, but then followed up was about the Cannon, make sure it stays blue. And a thing that actually made me pretty happy was a couple weeks ago in organic chemistry, our teacher was doing some experimental design, showing us how, organic chemistry works. And he had this mini cannon to show how acetylene all reacts and makes big combustion and loud noises. But then the cannon was red. And I wasn't even the first one to say anything about it. I sat down, I was just really biting my tongue, and someone behind me said, "Oh, that's the wrong color." And that just got me fired up. I mean, even kids on campus are all bought in, and we just kind of guilted the teacher in there, and made him feel bad about it for a second. And so it's really just it's around everywhere. The buzz is everywhere, and people know what this game means. You don't have to be a part of this team to understand what this game means.
I mean, it's a big deal to me, especially coming up under a guy like Austin Corbett, and then listening to a lot of the alums that I've known explain to me how big of a deal this game was. But then also, really, this place is where me and my boys became men somewhat, and just that pride has been instilled in us, and now it's a huge deal to us. So every time we play these guys, it's a big deal.
You talk to your friends and family that don't know much about this rivalry before you got here, just tell them your trophy's a Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of reactions do you get?
I mean, it's funny, but it's also cool. I mean, it's a big cannon that we get to drag off the field, and it's the biggest rivalry trophy in the country. So, I mean, that's just so much history and just such a big deal and so cool that's what our trophy is.
What was it like seeing the locker room and Coach Alfie and you guys at press
It was cool. I did not expect Coach Alt to be like that. He's kind of funny. I heard a lot of stories about what he was like when he was a coach here, and they made him sound like a very scary man. He didn't come off that way at first to me. I could see how he's like that, but honestly, he just seemed like a good dude. And it was cool to hear how much history has gone into this game and how special it is and how fortunate we are that we get to be a part of it. It was fiery at times. It was funny at times. It was a whole mix of emotions that came out throughout that talk. But it just really made you appreciate what we're about to be a part of.
Do you hear a lot of talk about this rivalry game that kids go around campus, going to classes, people talking to you? Is there a buzz around campus about this?
Yeah, I mean, I was told when I got here that we can lose every game, but if we win this one, it's somewhat okay. So, I mean, that tells you enough how big of a deal it is, you know. I remember when we lost it in 15, it just kind of seemed like, I mean, we wound up winning the Arizona Bowl that year, but it just seemed like there was just like this dark cloud around the entire season just because we lost this one game. So, you know, it can really make or break a season.
When you look at their offense, I mean, they love to run the ball. Their quarterback,
Mhm.
guy, he ran for 193 yards last week.
Yeah.
What kind of challenge is that, just to try and contain their run?
Well, facing a running quarterback that likes to pull the ball is challenging anyway because you have to play with discipline. I mean, it's something you're not used to. You're used to seeing the ball get handed off and then go and get the running back. But just having the discipline to play a running quarterback, but to add on the fact that he can break tackles and is pretty elusive adds a whole nother challenge. So it'll be a challenging experience that we're going to face on Saturday.
What is this senior class kind of meant to, the guys?
They're huge just because they're the guys that raised me. Travis Wilson, Austin Corbett. They're the guys that really, you know, showed me the ropes, you know, and are the most relatable because they were young with me and they've gotten older with me. But then also to add on the fact that some guys that I came in with, you know, Patrick Chowda, Wyatt Demps, guys that I you know, was recruited with and was in the dorms with and really just have been here the whole time with are in this senior class as well. They're truly my brothers. You know what I mean? I almost feel like they're a part of, you know, my class or I'm a part of theirs. I don't know how to explain that, but it's a really big deal, these guys.
Anybody else report?
Thank you, guys.
Questions for Patrick? Patrick, this is a hit for you in your career here. Has it kind of hit you yet?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I can just remember like it was yesterday. So, I mean, I'm just really excited.
I know you still have one more game up, but is there kind of one moment or a couple moments that really kind of stand out for you playing football here?
The BYU game, my freshman year. That was it. Yeah.
Obviously, going to a bowl game would be preferable, but the fact that your college career ends at home against a big rival, I mean, it's almost kind of a perfect situation.
It is. I mean, we playing UNLV. That's a rival team. Everyone's looking forward to it. So I'm just excited, you know. Yeah.
How much do you think this game means to this community and the student body and the players? It can't really be overstated.
I think it means a lot. I mean, since I've been here, every guy has told me, like, this game, you can lose every game, but you have to win this game right here. You know, this is the game right here, you know.
Yeah. Go get the plate for like a cannon as a trophy. I mean, how cool is that?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I heard it's the biggest trophy, you know, in college football, so that's pretty cool.
How difficult was it, the loss that you guys had here in your career on the home field to UNLV? I mean, when you think back to them not only beating you here, but taking the cannon home with them, is that something you look on as motivation heading into this week to not let that happen?
Yeah, it is. I mean, because I remember like Brock and them, you know. I mean, what's his name? Like they weren't happy, you know. So that's just something we don't want it to happen to us, you know. I mean, we just got to go out there and compete. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm kind of overly excited for this game. I'm trying to keep all the emotions bottled in, so I won't get too carried away with it. But this game is an exciting game, and it's tough not to get excited for. You got Coach Alt coming to talk to you. You got the Cannon sitting in the locker room when you first walk in. You see it every day, and now it's time to play for it. So it's exciting, and we're ready for it.
What was the atmosphere like in the locker room when Coach Alt was there giving his speech?
Everybody was shocked because we've never really heard Coach Alt talk, but the talk we had was great, and it was a really emotional talk. He was serious. He told us about the history of the game, of the rivalry, and how much it meant to this community and how much it meant to the past alums, to the past coaches. So this game is a really big game, and he stressed it to us, and he made sure that we didn't take this game lightly.
As a senior, there's a lot of this class's shoulders to make sure your last game isn't one where you lose again.
Right. As seniors, we just try to stress the importance of it and don't take the game lightly because, as Austin said earlier, we're 2-2 as seniors with this game, and we've seen two teams go out there and execute, and we've seen two teams go out there flat, and we're not trying to be that team. So we're just stressing the importance of the rivalry and the importance of the game, the importance of the Cannon, and we're just trying to stress everything about the Cannon this week.
Is there some talk on the team that UNLV could become bowl eligible with a win, and maybe extra motivation to play spoiler this year?
I mean, we talk about it. We've talked about it, but it's not on our minds. We're just trying to go win the game, and us winning the game knocks them out of bowl contention. Then so be it. We're just trying to go out there and execute, play this game for our city, play this game for our Cannon because it needs to stay blue.
Obviously, you have one more game left, but I mean, you think back in your career, is there a moment that kind of sticks out to you, or a couple moments?
Yeah, actually, the last year when we went back and took it 45-10, that was probably one of my biggest moments here. It was just the fact that we went out there and had nothing on our mind but wheeling that Cannon off and taking it back home. And that's the mentality that we need to have in this game and in order to keep it here.
Talk about the trophy itself as just like Cannon. I mean, you tell people about your rivalry trophy as long as it's Cannon. I mean, what's kind of the reactions you get? How much pride do you take in that?
I take a lot of pride in it because you see other college rivals. You're able to hold the trophy above your head with your teammates. You can't hold a Cannon above your head. So the biggest trophy, the heaviest trophy in America is just something that you have to take pride in. You have to take pride in the fact that we are playing for the biggest trophy in America right now, and it is serious.
You've been both on the winning sideline and losing sideline in this game. How would you describe the feeling after both of those scenarios?
Well, the feeling after a loss is you just feel empty inside. You feel like you've let more than just the team down. You feel like you've let the whole city down, the coaches, the past alums, and it's not a good feeling that you have. But on the winning side, once you win, in the past 2 years that we've won at UNLV. So wheeling that red Cannon off the field and getting ready to paint it blue on Sunday was probably one of the best feelings that I've had here at this school. Just the fact that we're able to go out there and execute and have one thing on our mind and wheeling that Cannon off the field and painting it blue Sunday.
To be able to do that, you're at least going to have to stop Rodgers from running too much. What kind of challenge does it present when you're going against a running quarterback? You guys really haven't faced one that season that kind of is like that.
Well, when you're facing a running quarterback, you have to stay disciplined, and all 11 need to know their job, and all 11 need to do their job, and whoever has the quarterback needs to have the quarterback, and we just need to execute. It just comes down to execution and preparation. So we're in the meeting rooms hard this week. We're not taking this team lightly. We're studying the film hard because we know that they're a good team and they have a good offense. They have 5 wins and they're trying to get bowl eligible, and we can't let that happen. So we're ready for it.
Senior class has had a lot of ups and downs. Won a bowl game, missed some bowls. I guess, how do you want this class to be remembered? I guess ultimately.
I want this class to be remembered as people that didn't quit, players that never gave up on the process, players that never gave up on the team, even though we've been through coaching changes, we've been through so much throughout this program is the fight that these seniors have and the willingness to stay. We've had a lot of seniors that have stayed and stuck it out with us throughout this 4 years I've been here. So resilience is big with this senior class.